So I know I'm a bit late on this drama queen controversy, but with each new chapter, I get a bit more interested on where this story is going. Drama queen is one of those stories that come out swinging, grabbing attention with shock value and controversial themes. It catches your eyes like in the same way a car wreck would, with its premise of humans coexisting with aliens after aliens' supposed salvation. This manga has sparked a lot of heated debates since its release, but is it just controversy for controversy's sake, or is there something more beneath the surface? Today we'll explore why Drama Queen might be worth more of your attention despite its polarizing start. At first glance, Drama Queen seems tailor-made to court controversy. It follows Namamoto, a factory worker in Japan, who harbors a deep resentment for the aliens that integrated into human society. After saving Earth from a catastrophic meteor, the story dives headfirst into themes of prejudice, power imbalances, and systemic resentment, all wrapped up in a dark sci-fi package. The controversy stems from its allegorical framing of the aliens as a marginalized group and the protagonist's open disdain for their presence. This has led some to accuse the series of promoting xenophobic undertones, while others argue that it's a reflection of systemic trauma and resentment, or even a class warfare story with the rich versus the poor, which is fair. There are elements of all of these in the story. But then there's also the co-protagonist Kitami's tragic backstory with his family being killed by an alien drunk driver, which adds more fuel to the narrative fire. Both of the main characters' perspectives are shaped by trauma, making them morally ambiguous, and then it even highlights that Kitama sees this incident as a race problem, and since an alien killed his family, he thinks all of them deserves it. It throws so many layers on top of each other so that it's hard to see this manga as not controversial. However, underneath the crazy layers is a strong story. One of Drama Queen's greatest strengths lies in its character and how their relationship are portrayed. Kitami and Nomomoto's dynamic is fascinating and filled with unspoken tension and layered emotion. Kitami is supposed to be the straight man to Nomomoto's crazy, but Kitami is just as unhinged as Nomomoto, just in a different calculating way. But I will talk about that a bit later. Their dynamic is written in a way that makes the reader feel that their relationship is solid, but just like their mentality, it is actually pretty fragile. For instance, there's a moment where Kitami considers betraying Nomomoto, possibly handing her over to the aliens or the group to protect himself, yet he doesn't follow through. The story never explicitly tells us why, but Nomomoto hints that Kitami may see her as family, a bond forged through shared trauma or hatred. The story doesn't tell us that Kitami trusts Nomomoto to that extent, but it does hint it. It hints at that trust with Nomomoto's thoughts. It even shows that Kitami was willing to continue to work harder to keep Nomomoto's trust, even if Nomomoto doesn't feel anything about their impromptu relationship. This subtle approach to character development leaves room for interpretation, inviting the readers to connect the dots on their own. Drama Queen actually often employs this technique, dropping hints without fully spelling things out. For example, we never actually see the aliens physically harming Nomomoto, yet she frequently has bloody noses after confrontations with her boss. Is it physical, just intimidation, stress, or something darker? The story trusts the reader to piece these moments together, creating a layered narrative that becomes as much about our interpretation as the text itself. Another layer of Drama Queen's complexity comes from its depiction of mental instability. Nomomoto and Kitami are not heroes in a traditional sense. They are deeply unstable, broken people grappling with overwhelming trauma. Take Nomomoto, for instance. She's unhinged in ways that are both grotesque and fascinating. Eating sentient beings, sometimes even eating it raw, in a desperate act of some defiance, hatred, fascination, or self preservation. Honestly, it could be all of those combined, really. These moments feel less like shock value and more like a reflection of her fractured mental state. She still sees them as sentient beings, but have lost her empathy for them. And then there's Kitami, whose instability manifests in his quick resort to violence and his delusional perceptions of aliens as demons. His trauma has warped his worldview to the point where he sees every alien as an enemy, fueling his crusade alongside Nomomoto. Unlike Nomomoto, he doesn't even see them as sentient beings, just things to kill, obstacles in his way. The story's brilliance lies in how it portrays these characters not as one-dimensional, but as deeply flawed individuals navigating a world that's broken to them. Their mental instability adds nuance to their action, making them both tragic and compelling, but most of all, unreliable narrators. We don't know if everything we are being told is actually how the world is in there. While much of the controversy surrounding Drama Queen centers on its political allegories, it's important to note that the story might not actually be about those at all. Instead, it just uses it as a backdrop to tell a twisted, satirical tale of two mentally unstable characters spiraling into some kind of chaos. It's almost as if Drama Queen asks, what happens when you let the intrusive thoughts win? Nomomoto and Kitami's journey is less about making a grand political statement and more about exploring the absurd extreme of human emotion and action in a broken world. But beneath the satire, though, there might still just be a pile of unfiltered, edgy shonen storyline. So who really knows until the manga gets more chapters? Is Drama Queen for everyone? No. Its theme and framing will undoubtedly alienate some readers, but if you're willing to look beyond the initial controversy, you might find a story with the potential to challenge and engage in ways few others can. So if you're a fan of morally complex story, layered world building, and characters that push you to think, or just want to see a twisted satirical take on human flaws, Drama Queen might just surprise you. Give it a chance. Sometimes the most polarizing stories turn out to be the most memorable. At the time of this recording, the series only has 7 chapters, but for now, that's my analysis into Drama Queen. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think it has the potential to become something more, or is it too controversial to succeed?